Listen, Marvel Rivals has done what many deemed impossible and made its 7 support heroes extremely fun to play and versatile. Today, guys, we're going to break down every single strategist for a one-stop shop to get you started. Listen, guys, you're probably watching this video because you're considering playing strategists in Marvel Rivals. Good for you. It's not an easy task, all right? I need you to mentally prepare yourself to receive the following from your teammates.
Where are the healers? We would have one if I had heals. F*** you heals.
And my personal favorite,
I need healing.
from the spawn. Why did the healer cross the road, you might ask? To revive the DPS that thought they could solo the entire enemy team. I'm full of them, guys. Listen, it's not easy, but from a person that just wants to sit back and heal because you don't play a lot of shooters to the ever so complex high skill ceiling Loki. We got a lot to talk about today for the strategist. Let's hop in. We kick things off with Adam Warlock, a perfect character that represents right away that strategists are much more than just heal bots. With a shocking amount of DPS behind his hit scan basic that has no damage fall off, you might find yourself surprised that you'll deal as much damage with Adam as you do healing in some matches. Now, as for his alt fire right click cosmic cluster, it allows Adam to charge up his basic attack, but this time it's a projectile, making it much easier to land on a moving target or charge for the incoming team fight. Now, it does have a little bit of a slow release, but the nice part is you can heal while charging it up. But don't let all that damage distract you from the fact that his healing is second to none. His abilities can be game-changing, turning the tide of that ever so crucial team fight. Soul Bond is going to unite the souls of allies in a bond for 6 seconds, granting everyone healing over time, and gives the unique effect of distributing damage taken across the bond. In short, everybody in the team fight's going to split the damage. Now, the extra nice part about this is if Adam Warlock sustains any damage that could kill him, then the link will be broken, but Adam will be alive with 1 health. Now, keep in mind, this alongside many of Adam's abilities that we're going to talk about today have a longer cooldown, so vital timing is imperative when trying to perfect your play. But if you want a more hands-on approach to your healing, then Avatar Livestream allows Mr. Warlock to target an ally for a balancing stream of healing energy, which also heals himself with a heal amount of 95 per cast. This will serve as your main healing method that you'll want to use throughout the team fight while alternating some damage in. And the nice part is if there's no one around and people are rushing you, you can use this ability to heal Adam a little bit as well. Now, his passive, Regenerative Cocoon, is that ability that when you find out Warlock has, you think to yourself, is this cheating? Essentially, when you die, you'll be automatically placed into a soul form, which you can move freely around the map and find a nice cozy spot to revive yourself in a safer location to get back to the team fight. Now, obviously, this has a longer cooldown of 105 seconds, but that'll go by a lot faster than you think. Now, the extra spice on this is that he has the passive team-up ability to give this to Mantis and Star-Lord, no strings attached, but I'll be discussing that more in the upcoming team-up guide. If you want to get that notification when that guide comes, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. Now, lastly, we've got his absolutely cracked ultimate Karmic Revival. Now, as if his kit wasn't just crazy enough, with this, guys, you can revive all of your teammates that just died in a huge team fight. They'll come back with only 100 health, but the nice part is they'll be given a brief period of invincibility so you can heal them right back up. But wait, there's more, as the late Billy Mays would say. If they die at all during the duration of the 10-second ultimate, revive allies within the range that is centered to Adam himself. Yep, pretty busted. So in short, guys, heal your teammates, protect your allies with Soul Bond against big pushes and big team fights, and, you know, don't die in team fights so you can do the mass revive. We move on to Jeff, the baby land shark. He's the definition of pure, unfiltered joy, just too humble for this world, wrapped into an adorable little shark body. Honestly, I don't even know who in their right mind could even think about harming this perfect creature. Now, with the combination of his abilities and his recent buff, Jeff is a blast to play. His primary joyful splash is less of a splash and more of a water jet straight from Squirtle's mouth that will heal your allies on impact. Now, don't let the short range look fool you. It does have infinite distance for 140 health per second. Now, the chef's kiss is that it can also go through teammates, so when the team fight gets tough, don't be afraid to move your camera around fast to heal as much as possible. Now, Jeff is also equipped with 6 healing bubbles that serve as a generated health pack that you can leave for your allies anywhere on the map. Learning how to best position and aim these will take patience, but you'll be rewarded with massive results as your allies gain healing and movement boost, which you can tell by their health bar. This makes this the perfect follow-up and preparation to teamfight with Joyful Splash for perfect amount of massive healing. Newly added to the ability is if an enemy goes near it, it also hits them up in the air. Now, where healing is Jeff's main role in safe space in Marvel Rivals, his primary source of damage will come from his right-click Aqua Burst. This launches a high-speed water sphere that deals a pretty solid amount of damage on impact and some nice splash damage as well. Now you can pair this up with Luna's Snow and you'll gain access to a frozen spitball that can spread slows all throughout the map and piss off your opponents, causing them to be slowed down. An absolute perfect 2 for the price of 1. However, if you do find some sons of bitches that want to harm this perfectly innocent sea creature, then you're in luck, as Jeff's passive Oblivious Cuteness allows him to have 50% reduced damage taken from headshots, which is good because he's pretty much all head. And you combine that with his ability Hide and Seek, where Jeff can dive underground, exposing only his fin. This will grant himself both a 60% move boost as well as a self-heal and the ability to climb walls, all combined with that reduced hitbox. Now, by far, the best part about Jeff is his ultimate, where he creates a giant whirlpool and he'll swallow whole both allies and enemies. He's going to heal the allies within it, and he's going to damage the enemies, but your allies might be pissed. They don't realize you're trying to save their life. What's great about this, too, is that you can spit out either the enemy or the ally at any time once they're healed up, and you can look for a ledge to shoot the enemies off of for instant elimination. Be careful, though. A lot of characters in Rivals have ways to get out of this, but it's definitely a nice touch. Stay tuned for a map guide. I'll kind of showcase the best places to do this. They'll also gain the benefit of Hide and Seek for a brief duration before being ejected, which is massive. Now, the Trickster Loki is a hero many want to play often, given his great damage output, solid healing, and one-of-a-kind abilities with an extremely fun ultimate. Starting with Loki's right-click Mystical Missile, you're able to both deal damage and heal allies, rewarding guys out there whose aim isn't the greatest. You're going to find yourself at least having some type of impact, because if you hit an ally, you're going to heal them, and if you hit an opponent, you'll do the damage. But this is where simplicity ends for Loki. Loki is surprisingly a bit complex. He has a doppelganger ability allowing him to place 2 illusions in which he can swap places with at any time and serve as both decoys for your enemies, but more importantly, it helps massively in both DPS and his healing roles. You can combine this with Loki's Deception to go invisible and replace himself with yet another illusion, and you can have tons of different illusions and decoys. Your opponent's going to be a mess and confused, and your teammates are going to be massively supported. Now, all this combines with Loki's strongest support ability, Regeneration Domain, which creates a green circle around Loki, turning all damage into healing. This effectively gives Loki and anyone within the runestone invincibility unless the stone is destroyed. But the best part about this, guys, is those illusions we spoke about earlier, they will also drop the same ability, giving you massive amount of supports as well as strategic placement ideas in crucial fights or capture points. Now, as for Loki's ultimate, this is one of the greatest things. If you played Echo in Overwatch, it's kind of the same thing. You can become any ally or enemy hero that is on the map currently, being able to use their abilities and, most importantly, their ultimates. This has a big high skill cap because you need to know all the ultimates and what they do, but more importantly, which one is most crucial for what's going on, right? Massive team fight, pick the support and get an AoE heal. Or maybe get the Storm, as that's a long charged up ultimate that deals massive damage. The more you can learn the game, the better you're going to get at Loki as a hero. Now, lastly, guys, his melee backstab will deal extra damage when stabbing enemies from behind. His kit is purely great for both DPS and healing, giving him a great backline player role who has the potential to dive and back out while giving great heals along the way. All right, next up, let's talk about Luna Snow, the queen of K-pop and team pushes. With AoE healing, Luna comes to Rivals with swift movement, powerful heals, and respectable damage. Now, similar to Loki, her primary Light and Dark Ice is a hit scan 3 burst attack that can both heal allies and damage enemies. However, with Dark Ice able to headshot, she can actually deal insanely strong damage if you can land your shots, but do keep in mind this does have a damage fall off. Now, her ability Ice Arts allows you to do the same healing and damage, but it passes through enemies and allies with great effect, and this is what gives Luna a mix of crazy damage and top tier support. Now, my tip for her is try to use the Light and Dark Ice until you need to reload, and then you want to go ahead and use this ability to have the maximum effect. Now, in true K-pop fashion, Luna likes to share the stage. With this targeted ability, all healing you do with Luna on a target ally will in turn also heal them extra while healing others. This is great for that wandering DPS or flanker on your team, or just put it on the tank so you don't have to worry about as much healing on the big guy. You mix this in with her primary and that shift, and you've got impeccable healing across the board. Now look, guys, every strategist in Rivals has some form of an escape or a way to slow down a DPS, and Luna's might be the best with absolute zero. You can freeze anybody coming towards you for like 2.7 seconds. Keep in mind, if your allies attack that within 2.2 seconds, then it's going to unfreeze them. But this is awesome in coordination because if you have a giant ultimate from the opponent, you can freeze them, and they pretty much waste the majority of that. Or if somebody dives you, or, you know, a tank that you need to take down to get their shields down, there's a lot of different uses for Absolute Zero. Now, Luna's mobility is also fantastic, as when you move for 0.5 seconds, you'll gain a huge movement boost skating throughout the map. But perhaps one of the greatest things about Luna and her kit is her passives that make both Namor and Jeff significantly better with ice powers gifted to their abilities, as well as now Iron Fist. Now, lastly, we have the ultimate for team fights, and that is the Fate of Both Worlds. You'll take center stage as you can toggle between two dances, one that gives a whopping 40% damage boost to all of your allies, and the other that does so much healing to damage it's damn near impossible to die within it. This is great when moving for an objective or a last push, and the more coordinated your team, the better the ultimate. All right, we move on to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and first up we've got Mantis, who's a fantastic hero to begin your journey in Marvel Rivals, as she's about as pure of a support as you get. But don't let that fool you, as during the beta, Mantis had the #1 win percentage out of any hero. Now, first off, let's talk about the passive. While at full HP, Mantis is one of the fastest characters within the game. She'll get a movement boost if you don't have any missing health. Now, your main role as Mantis will be the management of your life orbs, represented by the 5 flowers in the middle of the screen. Now, you'll gain these over time throughout the match, but also with her primary. If you're able to land a headshot, you'll gain instant access to a life orb, which is going to reward more skilled players with incredible potential for both DPS and heal. Now, the first ability, Allied Inspiration, is going to consume life orbs to give your target teammate a damage boost of 12%. This is going to last for 8 seconds. You can spread this across to your teammates and prep in advance of a battle to really make that difference in the team fight, to give yourself that little bonus chance to win. Now, where Allied Inspiration grants teammates damage, Natural Anger is going to consume the orbs to give Mantis the exact same buff. This is what allows great damage dealers to combine her primary with headshots for life orbs, with the 12% damage bonus for actually solid damage, and you're supporting your healing abilities. Now, the last thing about her orbs is we've got a healing flower. This is going to be her right click, which grants allies healing over time. But on top of that, it also gives them a one-time effect of healing, and combined together, you'll be surprised just how much health Mantis can support her beefier heroes like tanks or flankers going for the big ultimate. Now, as for Mantis's big ultimate, Soul Resurgence, you'll be releasing energy all around while moving, and this is going to give a massive healing and movement boost to your surrounding allies. But the big key difference between her and Luna is that all of her excess healing is going to be converted to bonus health to your allies, which is insane to give you this massive advantage, not only during the ult to push into a point or to an objective or a team fight, but on top of that, after the ult ends, you have all this extra health, which is huge as well. All right, so next we've got Rocket Raccoon, another beginner-friendly hero that, just behind Mantis, is one of the best win percentage characters in all of the beta. Rocket, in my opinion, is the jack of all trades for support characters. Now, you're only going to be dealing damage with his left-click bombard mode, but at 12 rounds per second, this bad boy can absolutely pump out respectable numbers. Now, it does have the ability to crit via headshots, but it does suffer from the damage fall-off. As Rocket, you can be pretty focused on healing, but this is also great to get the ultimate up. Now, Rocket's right-click repair mode is going to fire these healing spheres that can pass through allies and bounce off surfaces up to 10 times. I cannot overstate just how good the healing is from these little balls. The best thing about this is you don't really have to aim, as when these spheres get close to allies, it's going to kind of slow down and start doing massive healing to multiple teammates. And with that bouncing effect, you can kind of stay behind the danger, because you are obviously susceptible to die pretty easily, and bounce them off a wall to still spread the healing. I found this incredible to combine with characters that dive in, like Venom or Captain America. And the best part is you can also heal Rocket with these as well. Now, given him being a support, you better hope you have some ways to escape, and my god, does Rocket have great mobility between his wild crawl that lets him wall climb and his jetpack dash for quick escapes on flankers, or to dash up for the high ground, while using his flying ace ability to hover in the air for a great bird's eye view for the fight. The more mobility that you can muster up as Rocket, the better you're going to be. Now, Rocket has some of the best team-ups in the game, but again, that'll be for that video. What we got to talk about is his strongest ability, and it's not his ultimate, but his BRB device. And this is what makes the character crazy and very noticeable if you don't have a Rocket, and they do. This can revive the first fallen teammate, making it crazy for a hero shooter. When all the teams rush in, they got a pick, they thought they won, but that tank they took down is able to revive and come back to the team fight. On top of that, it produces armor and jetpacks This thing is perfect, but the only thing about it is you got to be a little careful where you're going to place it because it's easily destroyable. And if you don't have it in a good spot, the enemy is going to easily just get rid of it. Now, the cooldown is immense, so you do need to be careful when and where you place it. But the great part is, if you feel like it's not in a great place, you can pick it back up for a low cooldown and place it somewhere else. Now, lastly, we have See Ya, and that is going to be his ultimate, deploying a cosmic amplifier that grants allies a damage boost. This isn't the greatest ultimate, but it is pretty damn solid with a 12-second 40% damage boost. Great range, and then obviously when paired up with his unlimited ammo passive to Punisher, it's ridiculous. All right, guys, so we end on the most interesting and potentially toughest to master strategist, Cloak Dagger. The last to arrive before launch, Cloak Dagger offer limitless potential packed with abilities. For starters, you can switch to either character at any time via their transform that has no cooldown. This perfectly tracks as you're able to keep tabs on both Dagger and Cloak's cooldowns shown right above their ultimate. Now, Dagger leans more towards the healing side with a slight focus on damage. Her primary is an auto-aim dagger that can both heal and deal damage to the path that it seeks. Now, as for her right click, she gives a dome to a provided area to give even more healing in a concentrated place. That's great in team fights and capture points. On top of her last ability, a heal wall that gives even more healing. Now transform into Cloak and you'll have access to some of the best true support defense in the game. Cloak's right-click Levitate allows him to take flight to reach your team and find a prime spot for throwing Dagger's heals. On top of this, it also shrouds your allies with, let's call it, a cloak of invincibility that can protect you from all ultimates and damage, giving you a massive evade tool when the going gets tough. Now, Cloak's E has this one-of-a-kind blind darkness wall that will put out both solid tick damage and cause your enemy screen to go, well, purple. This will allow you to create strategic game plans when blinding the enemy or during their ultimate to shut them down temporarily. Now, you combine all that with his primary, which can siphon off enemies for a perfect alley-oop to your teammates' damage to finish them off. There's so much going on that you often forget this is just one character, and we haven't even talked about their ultimate, which will dash them across the map, and you can leave a cloud behind you that looks to heal, slow, and deal damage. Because they're so new, we don't know everything yet, but this is a pretty good look at what they'll be. So I think you guys can see that strategists are not exactly just healers. They do a lot, from debuffs to buffs to healing to good damage to insane ultimates, and that's what I love about the role. If you want to sit back and relax, you can do so, but I'm telling you guys, by the win percentages, the best strategists in the game are typically belonging to some of the best teams. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope we get a lot more added to this role. I think it's awesome. A little bit tough to make, not overpowered, so I think they are taking their time here. Have a lot of guides planned, especially individual advanced guides, so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss any of those videos. Have a good one. Have a great one. Till the next one. Happy rivaling.